Hi everyone. I guess if you've seen the title of this video, then you'd already know that today is going to be a bit of a strange one. But I thought it would be interesting, let's say, to discuss kind of something that I think society doesn't like discussing. The concept or the eventuality of death. And yes, death is so morbid because most times we don't like talking about it, and it's kind of one of those taboo things that when it happens, it's like the most devastating thing ever, and people suffer, and it's a sad time, and nobody likes to deal with death, and I understand that. It's a strange video because I'm doing kind of something fun, which is a tag, and coupling it with something that's not so fun, which is death. So I just like to put a disclaimer out there first before I start the video and say that this is in no way making light of death. Yeah, I don't take pleasure in death or anything like that. I think it will cause like quite a controversial discussion, hopefully in the comments, and I really hope somebody would comment about this, and if you do the tag then that would be great, but also like I'm really looking forward to hearing what other people think about death, and especially your attitude towards the questions in the tag. I made this tag and it's got very morbid questions in it, so discretion, like viewer discretion, I suppose. Some of you might think this is the strangest thing ever, so if you're quite sensitive or you're in a sensitive period of your life, I don't suggest that you like watch this video or are a part of it, because it might just make you feel quite sad or whatnot, so I suggest maybe you don't watch it. Obviously viewer discretion, you watch it like if you choose to or whatnot. But yeah, I think that's kind of the first part over. I just wanted to get out there and tell you guys before I get into the tag, just so that you know I am a human being. I have feelings too, for sure. I'm not some kind of sadistic person at all. I'm a deep thinker, that's all, and I just thought about this and I thought it would be interesting to bring this to the internet. If you were going to die, what would your last supper be? To be honest, I've actually thought about this, strangely enough, and it would, well, I mean, I guess for anyone it would be like your favourite food. So for me, my last supper, if I could choose, it would be something along the lines of like a sweet and sour pork, like something like that, like something that's like oriental or like Chinese, that kind of thing, or like a stir fry, that would be really nice. Or I would go for like a really juicy burger with like cheese and all the toppings and lettuce and relish and that kind of stuff. But like for dessert, it would have to be like a baked cheesecake or like a really lovely like carrot cake or something like that. So I don't know, I thought about this before, but that's kind of what I would definitely love to eat. Next question is, what song would be playing at your funeral? I don't know what kind of song would display me as a person, or what kind of song I want those at my funeral to listen to in the service. I have no idea. So I kind of just went for songs that I like. All I Need Is You by Lecrae. I don't know, this like every time I listen to this song I kind of feel like it's my song. I don't know why, but I love it, and every time it comes on I feel like dancing to it and whatnot. I don't really like somber funerals, so I definitely want something that was upbeat and that would just kind of like cheer people up a little bit. If it was meant to be like kind of a slow, thoughtful song, then I would definitely go with Oceans by Hillsong, because that song is just deep on so many levels and it's beautiful, and it's just like wow. If you knew you were going to die, what would you actually like to do? And I think this is the same for everyone. I'm sure that everyone has like bucket lists and that kind of thing. So it'd usually be something like going to every kind of country I could think of. So I'd always want to go to America or like parts of Asia, so I'd go there and just like see the sights or eat like lots of amazing food, that kind of thing. I feel like it would give me inner peace to know that I've done something about everything in my life before I go. So it gives me some peace to know that I've sorted out my affairs, my family is in order, my house is in order, my belongings are in some kind of possession, that kind of thing. It would give me like kind of like a feeling of now I'm ready to go because I've sorted out my life. I haven't left it in the hands of others, if that makes sense. So I don't know, it depends really. Obviously who knows where they'll be, so who knows what state of mind you'll be in, so it really depends. Do you rather be buried or cremated? 100% burial. This stems from the fact that as a Christian, that cremation is like getting rid of the body. It means that if your body has been cremated, it's not there anymore. So that means that, as we believe that our bodies will rise again, there's no body to rise when Jesus comes back. So it's a bit like, if there's no body, you can't rise with him. So it's a bit like you've destroyed the opportunity to be with him forever. What legacy would you want to leave behind you when you're gone? Maybe in like a small sense, obviously around my family, my friends, my community, I'd hope that people would talk about me in a positive light, as most people probably would. I'd hope they'd say things like, you know, oh, she was always caring, or she had a kind heart, you know, she looked out for other people. I hope people don't think me as selfish or you know, greedy or that kind of thing. I'd hope people would see I had a heart for others and I was happy to help them, or I was happy to give back to them. 6. Where would you want your body to be buried, or if you're cremated, your ashes to be scattered? So I suppose it would be somewhere that's like hot, like a nice climate in terms of like a heritage and whatnot. So being our family's from the Caribbean, so maybe somewhere like that. But question number 7 is, are you afraid of death? I say yes and no to this one. I'm not gonna lie, like there have been times where I'd like wake up in the night and just think about death and literally be in tears and just cry about it, and just like a thought would come to me about the fact that I won't be here forever, and one day life would be different and I wouldn't be around and I wouldn't be living and I wouldn't see my family, and that, you know, makes me tear up like uncontrollably. I remember times I'd just literally cry for ages, like I can't imagine not being here. Like to get older every day and you're getting closer to death, it makes me like feel sick. I don't like the feeling of the unknown. But obviously, like I've said before, the hope of a resurrected body or a resurrection, the hope of living again and living eternal is in me. So I feel like when I'm crying, it's almost like, wait, why am I crying? You know, I have this belief, I have this faith that I won't die, that I won't, like my soul, you know, who I really am will live on, and I won't, even if it's not in this life, I will still have a life, but it will be greater than this life. You know, to me that automatically, like just like click of the fingers, I'd stop crying. Not all of you believe that, and some of you might think that's crazy, but that's my hope. That's my hope of life, that I have an eternal life to come, and this is but a tiny bit of what is available. This gift of like eternal life is amazing. Would you want to be the first person to die amongst your friends and family? Again, this is a yes and no, because yes, I'd say I'd want to be the first person, because I wouldn't want to be the one that's left behind to experience death and experience people dying before me and experience the grief of people dying and having to deal with their circumstances and their possessions, that kind of thing, going through the stages of living without them. I wouldn't want to be the first, because then you'd miss out on growing old with your friends and family. You'd miss out on all the wonderful memories, and you know, you just won't get to be a part of that. 9th question is, would you ever become an organ donor, or are you an organ donor? So right now I'm not an organ donor, and I know they're appealing for young people. Particularly, I think they did say like the Black and Asian community, because a lot of us are not organ donors. Yeah, I feel like I don't know anybody who's an organ donor. I don't like the idea of being cut open. I want to help people, but I don't want to cut me open to take from me and leave me like with one kidney or half a heart and that kind of thing. Like, it feels like you're leaving me incomplete to cut me up and use me like to dissect me. That doesn't make me feel right. And also that whole thing about if you're an organ donor and you say you were on your deathbed, how they would, that whole thing about people saying that, you know, they wouldn't try to save you because they're like, oh, you're an organ donor anyway, so if you die someone else will get life. So even that, it would be like, no, you know, do your best to save me. You're not going to let me die so you can just have my organs. No, that's not going to happen. I don't know, I feel like I feel this community doesn't encourage each other enough to be organ donors, so I feel like that's why a lot of us are not into that. Why shouldn't we be caring enough to give other people our organs, especially when we won't need them anymore and they're going to waste, rotting in the ground, which is, actually thinking about it, why would I let my brain or my heart go to waste in the ground when someone else could use it and it could live on? Who would you entrust your possessions to? So I would give my possessions to my family. Obviously they'd get all my stuff, that kind of stuff, and I would leave it to them to decide what to do. So of course I'd want them to keep sentimental things like photographs and all that kind of stuff, diaries, that kind of thing, but you know, clothes and all that stuff that gets old anyway, you know, donate it. Who cares? I wouldn't care if somebody wore this shirt. I don't care if somebody had my glasses. I don't care, you know. If I'm not there to wear it, then give it away. So at your funeral, what quote or Bible verse would you want to be read out? For me, obviously it would be a Bible verse. So the Bible verse that I'd want to be read out is Romans 8:38-39. This is my favourite verse in the whole world. If they read that at a funeral, I hope it encourages people to know that even in death, even in being afraid, even if you feel depressed, there's nothing that can separate you from God's love. So I hope that would spur people to be hopeful and to not sit there and grieve and think, gosh, death is the end. Again, coming back to the whole fact that of believing of an eternal life. No, it doesn't have to be. What is your ideal death? Yeah, this is probably the most morbid question ever. My ideal death, I think, like most people, probably be something like dying peacefully, or dying like in my sleep where I wasn't aware of it, or like old age, obviously. And if it was something quite horrific, then I'd hope that I'd die instantly. That's probably the most morbid thing I've ever said in my life. Gosh, this is too deep, isn't it? Would you want the people organising your funeral to make it somber, or a bit like a party fiesta? I definitely say it would have to be a party. It would have to be a fiesta, because, and again, I think it's to do with culture and where I'm from. I think a lot of my culture, so like the Black, African, Caribbean, we're very much like party people. So everyone wants a reason to throw a party. And I think it's also, again, stemming from, again, beliefs and being a Christian. This whole hope, this whole joy, this whole celebration of a life, instead of being sad and dressed in black and weeping for days and days. I feel like that's not going to enrich a life. How will it help you to be depressed? I feel like in celebrating your life, you remember the good things. You remember the things that you did with that person. You don't have that imprint on your mind of the fact that they died and they're no longer here and your life can't move forward because that's all you think about. Think about when you laughed. Think about, when you shared your deepest secrets with somebody. I wouldn't want people to be like grieving forever for me. I'd want them to grieve in that way and move on and enjoy the life they have. What is life if you're just grieving about someone that you've lost? You should live. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to put this video out because it's just the strangest thing ever. But I just think it would be really great to hear from you guys, to hear what you think about death, to hear about your experiences, encourage each other in the comments. I hope that you've enjoyed, understood, related to that video. Like it, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.